Homer is a bit dim-witted and often gets himself into embarrassing situations. Today, he was on stage trying out a motion capture suit, vividly portraying a smart dog. His goofy moves on stage had the audience in stitches. Homer thought the show was over and went to the bathroom, but that's when the real show was just getting started.
Dipperoonie? Yeah. Urinal cake eroding! Gone!
After the demo, Homer became convinced that this motion capture suit was exactly what America needed. He figured the technology would definitely blow up in the future, so he headed to the bank to withdraw all his savings and buy up the company's stock. But the account was jointly held with Marge, which meant he needed her signature. So Homer pretended Marge was hiding behind a potted plant, ducked behind the greenery, and put on a one-man show, signing on Marge's behalf himself. The bank manager could clearly see through Homer's little act, but handed over the money anyway. Homer took the cash to a brokerage firm and bought 500 shares of Company A. The staff suggested he think it over, but all Homer could think about was money.
You heard the monkey, make the trade.
From then on, Homer obsessively tracked his stock every day. When he heard it had surged 1.15%, he was so excited he could barely sleep. The next day, he skipped work entirely and camped out in front of the TV. The news showed Company A had shot up 8%.
Yes!
But only after plummeting 75% first. The company immediately declared bankruptcy, and its sole shareholder was Homer.
Oh! Family meeting!
Homer quickly called a family meeting and broke the news that he'd lost all the money. Well, not entirely. He'd used what was left to buy a little bell.
Damn you, eBay!
Homer was so broke he couldn't sleep. Then he hit upon a brilliant money-making idea. Rent out Marge's womb to wealthy couples who couldn't have children. Unsurprisingly, Marge was not on board. She told him to forget it. Homer went to the bar to vent to his friends, and Barney actually had a way to make money, volunteering for human experiments. Sure, there were some side effects, but the pay was good. After thinking it over, Homer showed up at the medical research center. The researchers sprayed experimental perfume on him.
It burns! Ah!
Homer also took appetite suppressants. Delicious food passed right in front of him, and he had zero reaction. The researchers asked if he really had no desire to eat at all.
Food. I'm blind!
The next test involved cognitive function, but the lab rat kept beating Homer to the punch. The researchers started wondering if something was wrong with his brain, so they took a closer look at his brain scan. The report showed something strange lodged in there. When they zoomed in, they discovered it was a crayon. Homer was just as surprised by the news. Why hadn't any doctor told him about this before? A doctor immediately appeared to explain. Every time he held up the x-ray, he held it like this. His finger had been covering the crayon the whole time. This triggered a childhood memory for Homer. He had shoved 16 crayons up his nose into his brain. When it started to feel uncomfortable, he sneezed, thinking they all came out, but one had stayed behind. That crayon was the reason for Homer's low intelligence. The researchers said they could remove it, but there was a chance he might die.
Increase my killing power, eh? Let's do it.
After the doctors removed the crayon from Homer's brain, his IQ jumped 50 points. Marge didn't believe it and quizzed him with a few questions. Homer's sharp answers won over the whole family. There was no doubt about it, he had become smart. Homer even developed a love for reading. For the first time ever, Lisa was at the library with him. Homer could now solve a Rubik's Cube in 1 second. He even used a bunch of formulas to prove that God doesn't exist, and immediately showed his rigorous proof to Flanders.
Can't let this little doozy get out.